Welcome to the ACC Panic Room alongside Lauren Brownlow, who's at Cameron Indoor Stadium. I'm Joe Ovies. Interesting day in ACC hoops. Let's actually start with where you are, where Miami went into Durham. I don't think a lot of people were expecting Miami to come out with a win, but a couple factors here, Lauren. Something that you tweeted about regarding how Miami's been playing, combined with Duke coming off their COVID break, still not 100%. I'm not blaming that for the loss, but it might explain why this team still looked really rusty at times and a hell of a lot of turnovers against that Miami team, who's not been playing well defensively.
Yeah, I think that it's weird because I knew as soon as Kate mentioned that people were going to pounce on it, and so I haven't even checked my mentions on this honestly because I'm not. I was just tweeting what was said. I think the way you phrase that is actually perfect because it's like, okay, yes, there's rust. I guess when Kay was talking about fatigue, that's where some people were like, what do you mean? But I mean, whatever, it's whatever. Clearly there's something, okay? Yes, sure. When you pause like that for that long and you don't even practice, it's going to have an impact. And I think that, we definitely saw it some against Georgia Tech. I think maybe some combination of adrenaline and, Josh Pastner-ness and whatever else got them through that one and some good defense. And they didn't defend as well in this game. And they could not get it going on that end. They tried a lot of times. Duke did. They just could not manage to get it going. And yes, they made some mistakes offensively. And Kay alluded to this too. But the defense at the end of the day, if they played a little better on that end, then they're not in this position.
Yeah, if Duke played better on the defensive end, right. And they also pulled down a key rebound there late, because let's kind of be real about how this all kind of came together. There was a miracle and one that occurred there late, and then I think it was Banchero who was unable to pull down the rebound that led to the McGusty drive, and he ends up getting the go-ahead bucket. So there was a lot of things that had to take place for this to get to where it was for Miami. But again, credit for Miami, who kept plugging away and also understood, while not having the bigger lineup, to go small, go inside. I know you were tweeting about this for Duke too. It's like, go in, because that really was the difference of the game. Miami was able to do that better than Duke.
Yeah, and I know Kay kind of defended that after the game too. And it's whatever. Has Keels made drives like that and made shots on drives like that before? Yes. Does he sometimes get foul calls there? Yes. Was he going to get one there? No, he wasn't. There was, I mean, if he had gotten one, people would have been like, that's a Cameron foul or whatever. That's just going to let it decide the game. I mean, you could have called it, but I was fine with the no call considering the circumstances. And then the Wendell Moore shot was the one that floored me. Because it was you're 0 for 3, finish it. It's now 0 for 4. And the only offensive success they'd been having was when they were able to get the ball inside or get it to the rim. So the Keels drive I can understand a little bit more because, hey, somebody's just going to come back and get your offensive rebound half the time, so whatever. But a 3 like that with more time to maybe set something else up, I didn't understand that one. But
so over to Chapel Hill, where North Carolina bounced back. Oh, wait. I can't forget this. I don't know if you saw this or not. I don't even know if it's going to be able to show up on your screen. This is live Panic Room, folks, that we're doing here. So let me go ahead and share the screen here real quick. My dad, being the Miami guy, decided to. He texted me this the minute the game went final, and he's doing the camera crazy things and just yelling Duke the entire time. So yeah, my dad was feeling it. Miami basketball school, am I right?
Obviously, yeah. I mean, it's been that way for a minute, even when the basketball team's not good. Am I right? I'm just kidding. Sorry to I'm just joke people. Trust me. But yeah, I mean, it's weird. It's funny. I was reading the cheer sheet, and they mentioned how many 6-year seniors Miami has. They have 4 of them. They have 4 super seniors. And clearly you saw that kind of experience paying off because there was not a lot of fear of Cameron in these guys, whether it was transfers or just guys that had been around a while, like Isaiah Wong and Cam McGusty. They did not care about coming up. Charlie Moore had a wild experience in this game. He was hitting YOLO shots when he should have been passing it. He was getting mad at fouls. He was kind of trolling Trevor Keels in one of the inbounds. He was just all over the place, that dude. So he ran the full game in this one.
So one last thing about this game. I'm not really not all that. If you're looking for a bigger takeaway from Duke losing to Miami at Cameron Indoor Stadium, I'm not really going to go into that realm because I do think there are some other external factors at play here.
Yeah.
That this isn't the actual like legit Duke team that we saw before the Christmas break and the pause and everything else. And they were upfront about it after the Georgia Tech game. It's going to take a little bit of time for them to ramp back up. I think this was just part of that process. Talk to me in a week to see where this team is at. And then we can have a real discussion about where
frankly,
exactly
a little
they
less
are.
than a week. A little less than a week, right? They go to Wake on Wednesday. I mean, that's
that's true. That's true.
That's a team that's a place that's tough for them to play and a team that could beat them. So, yeah.
So over to North Carolina, who bounced back against Virginia today. I thought this was going to tell me more about the Tar Heels than the loss at Notre Dame. I actually asked Gilio this question on Thursday afternoon, and I was kind of curious your thoughts on this. The way they lost at Notre Dame wasn't like the abject disaster that some people wanted to make it out to be. This wasn't a game in which the game got out from them and then they couldn't get it back. It was a game where they did adjust. They did play defense. They actually committed themselves to playing some defense and forcing some contested shots, but it just wasn't enough to overcome their mistakes early on. And then some mistakes like Caleb Love taking just a really ill-advised shot followed up by that foul by Armando Bacot led to Notre Dame coming out with a win. But again, I didn't know if I was being too soft.
Sorry, we have a live Panic Room pause. I have to let Pat Welter back in as he's locked himself out. Be right back.
Oh, no. Okay, yeah, be right back. So I'll complete that thought while Brownlow's helping out Pat, our colleague over at WRAL. Anyway, as I was saying, there was I don't know if I was being soft on the Tar Heels. I don't know if it was one of these things where I'm just kind of judging them a little bit differently as a normal basketball team as opposed to some sort of national championship caliber team under Roy Williams. I'm trying to take some more, I guess the right way to put it, understanding of the situation. So I wasn't all that worked up by the loss at Notre Dame. To me, the game against Virginia today was going to be the more curious one because I wanted to see how they were going to bounce back against a Virginia squad that had just won 2 on the road. And no matter what you have to say about Tony Bennett and the skill level of this team, there's still a tough out, especially with that pack line defense. So today, Lauren, I thought the win against Virginia and the way that Armando Bacot played, and more importantly, the way Caleb Love bounced back from a performance that he was not happy with against Notre Dame, showed me more about the development of this team. And really, that's all you could ask for in a win today against the Cavaliers.
Yeah, it's weird. I mean, I'm not trying to dismiss it because obviously they played extremely well. Mm-hmm. Armando Bacot played great. He's been playing great, like you said. And was their defense better? Probably. Is Virginia more offensively limited? Yes. But at the same time, like you said, they didn't have the drop off that they've talked about. But my thing is, it's kind of like the opposite of Duke, right? It's it's good that they had this performance for them. I need to see a little more consistency from them before I'm willing to just say it's all good. That's all.
That's where I was going with it. This was step one. Right. And it's actually something that Hubert Davis talked about in the Notre Dame loss. It's one thing to make the adjustment in the game. It's one thing to commit yourself later in the game after it's been pointed out to you. It's another to consistently do it night in, night out. And he actually spoke to that part of it today after the win against Virginia when he was asked a question about, this team when it commits itself to doing the things that you want them to do. All right. And I'm paraphrasing here, but the postgame essentially said, these guys have the privilege, right, of being A, able to play, and B, able to play at UNC. And Hubert Davis talked about how they no longer have that ability anymore. They have the ability to do it. They have the ability to do it in North Carolina. Now it's about the responsibility of going out there and doing the things that you have to do in order to be a championship level team or a good team. A team that some people view as the second best team in the ACC. You're not going to be able to do that unless you do it night in, night out. So I'm with you that, okay, good, you bounce back. Yes, you did the things that people have been wanting you to do against a team that's kind of offensively challenged. All right, do it again. And then when you do that, you got to do that again. That really is part of the maturation process of a team under Hubert Davis as a first-year coach. And it's all just kind of coming together in real time for us.
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, the show me week, because they have a week off. They play Georgia Tech on Saturday, whatever. At that point, like, I don't know. They beat them by 17 in Atlanta, but this season's been weird enough. You can't take anything for granted. But still, if they turn out and do that, then have a Saturday, Tuesday turnaround at Miami, and then play at Wake on Saturday. To me, those two games, Miami and Wake, not this week but next, like. Those are big ones for me to figure out where North Carolina's at, because they're not, especially Miami, it's not necessarily like a sexy big name opponent that you're going to get fired up for, but you better be ready to play them or they're going to run you out of the gym.
Mm-hmm. I'm with you on that. And we'll close on this. We'll close with the Wolfpack, who continue to play essentially the same game. Clemson under Brad Brownell is going to be a consistent defensive-minded team. I think we saw that today at PNC Arena. Darren Sebron gave them another game today, but they were inconsistent in other places. And when you go through those scoring droughts, you're putting yourself in a bad spot. They did climb out of it. They got to the line. They made things interesting at the end. It's like, I'm a broken record when it comes to NC State. Sometimes it works out for you, like it did against Virginia Tech. Other times you get yourself in a position where you can't get yourself out of it, and we saw that against Clemson today.
Yeah, sorry. As you can see, I'm live having to explain to people how to get into this locked door up here in Camden. But yes, I mean, sadly, I could not watch the State game today because Valley. But yeah, that was one of those things where that's how a lot of their games have played out. Like so many, just so many. You even look at State's. I mean, certainly look at State's loss to Miami. Does that look so bad now? No,
it doesn't.
Look at their 5-point loss to Louisville. Like that was the second to last ACC team unbeaten remaining. Like these aren't bad losses. They're close, but like they're just not quite getting over the hump. They're there. They just don't quite have enough for the end. And
well, it's funny you mentioned that, because I think we'll close on this, because Miami doesn't look so bad now, right? And you tweeted this, but I think it speaks to a larger issue with the ACC. Typically, the ACC can get multiple bids to the NCAA tournament because you have the named teams like Duke and North Carolina or Virginia, Louisville, et cetera, actually having good non-conference wins, being in the top 25, looking good in KenPom, those types of things. And then if a Miami or a State beats these teams, it helps their resume. It's like the league helps itself out, right?
Yes.
But because the ACC only has one ranked team, well, if you beat Duke, it helps, but if you beat everybody else, it doesn't necessarily help. So Miami going into this game had shed a pretty non-conference slate, but they're unbeaten in conference play. But they're still not a great KenPom team. They're still not great defensively. The win certainly helps their resume, but it just kind of speaks to a larger issue that the ACC has. They're not helping themselves based on how they started the year, even though the whole one-bid ACC thing is a silly notion altogether.
No, that's not. That you're right. That's not going to happen. I mean, look at what we're already seeing right now. Because the thing is, do we know if Miami's going to keep this up? No, not necessarily. But if Miami gets through an ACC season and I think KenPom now has them projected at 20-11, 12-8 in the ACC, they're probably getting in. Like, that's just one example. Like, somebody can string enough wins together in this league to make the tournament that's not named. I mean, there wasn't going to be a one bid anyway, because it was always going to at least be Duke and North Carolina. So that was silly to begin with from that perspective. But yeah, like, I don't know why people were putting Carolina out of the tournament at that point. Like, has anyone seen Carolina's non-conference schedule?
I know.
Hello?
They see the blowouts. It's not, I don't know. It was a
blowout loss to top 25 Kentucky. You lost by like one possession at Notre Dame in a conference road game. Like, chill. Are they performing what they want to be? Maybe not, but like they're not making the tournament right now. Like, this is ridiculous.
Plus, if you look at the top 25 today, it was a weird day in college basketball. We're going to have more of those types of days because we're going to come to the realization that there aren't a lot of elite or tier 1 teams in college basketball right now. There's a lot more same than not. And good luck to anybody who has to vote in the AP top 25 trying to figure out teams. I don't know.
You can just say 25.
Me. I know.
Just say me. It's fine.
You're part of it. I'm just saying it's not an easy task to try to rank all those teams. Anyway, that's going to wrap it up for this edition of the ACC Panic Room. We will see you all later next week.